standpoint, we got too many things. From the security standpoint, also, just too many things. The first thing here is that I want to appreciate our government, especially Liberian National Police and His Excellency, the Ministry of Justice, the security apparatus, the immigration, the NSA, the rest of the security apparatus of our country, for exercising one of the highest degrees of tolerance ever in the history of the country, both June 7, 2019, and that of January 6, 2020. Never in my political lifetime, and as a student of political studies, understanding the Liberian political setting since the establishment of our country 1822 and subsequently independent and led into a series of elections, have Liberians been able to freely gather at the front of the three branches of government, especially when I say Liberians, freely gathered, a quote-unquote political pressure group represent the interests of political opposition parties. And faces of those parties and leaders of those parties came under the canopy of this political pressure group called COP, to the extent that they've requested that the president should step down, to the extent that they've called for war, to the extent that they've called for shooting of Liberians, to the extent that they've said they would drag the president to the street, to the extent that they've disagreed with Acarous, the EU, and the US embassy in terms of the time frame for that their action. Yet, the government of the Republic of Liberia decided that gave them what they want. This is unprecedented. The government, by all women Liberians, should be commended for that. 12 years we're in opposition. We're never permitted, never, let me repeat, to go and petition the executive branch of government, the judiciary, or the all the legislative branch of government. Were never allowed to see that place through any protest action as a political party. The last time I remember Fandara Patrice was in jail, and when Achisana and the rest of the people under that civil society went to the Temple of Justice to heal that hero, they were tear gas. The other time I know people went there when Costa was taken to court, and they took him from there and took him to the University of Liberia campus. Again, those people were chased. When university students left from university campus and came closer, they were tear gassed, they were brutalized, they were wounded. When students did the same, so we're talking about history. So the tolerance level of this government is the highest in the history of this country. And that is not debatable. Nobody can counter debate that.
To allow peaceful assembly.
It's peaceful assembly. Not only that, but protest action also. Not just assembly, but also protest action. Because in June 7, they argued that they're going to protest and petition the government. Now they said they will protest, they will bring the government down. They changed the language after international partners said you are using statements, insightful statements, for example, you have to make the necessary adjustment and corrections. Okay, so they changed from protest to peacefully assembly. Now they assemble, but things that people have not picked up, and we pick up. It's very important because we were looking at all of the visual evidence on the internet, listening to the radio stations, making critical analysis. The hierarchical order of the protesters, the leaders, they had their own game plan because they've demonstrated that they wanted the government down. So they have implanted into the minds of their supporters that they needed the government down. Even if it was a peaceful assembly, the president must come and talk to them. That's one of the points. Not only that, but they said they would not leave the street until this happened. So they had a fixed plan to destabilize the country, as far as I'm concerned, from utterances leading to the protest action, where some people say, I will shoot. Some other people say, you want war, I will bring war, and all of those statements. Fortunately for them, the government issued no arrest order for those people, unlike in the past. So when I said that the government has exercised the maximum degree of tolerance, that's what I'm talking about. When the first group assembled, The second that came and walked on the streets for Uru, which was prohibited, but again, at the tolerant level of the government, they allowed them to do that led by the sitting lawmaker of the House of Representatives. They came and broke through the police barrack from Lance and Mount Terry with 3 vehicles and bulldozers. The barrack is set up by the Liberia National Police. However, the police exercise maximum degree of tolerance. It's the highest tolerant level that I've seen of the Liberia National Police under this administration in our country. The war saw it. The police are asked to the extent that the police have backed down. The police have bent back. Let me use the word appropriately. To say, okay, human rights group, you're going to talk to them. Civil society organization will say, you're going to talk to them. The statute that created the Human Rights Commission does not provide for negotiation. There's nothing in the statute that says you can negotiate. You make report on events that occur. Okay, you make the necessary adjustment or recommendations. That's their responsibility. So the police that should go and talk to them, the police say, okay, you go talk to them first. You saw human rights groups were being jailed at and booed at. You saw visual evidence when one of the leaders, the Secretary General, went to even talk to the people to take the firewood, the coal part, all of those things, fire from that era. They rejected it. They were like, wow. The police had asked that they should leave, take away all of those things because the proximity. We'll come to the issue of the proximity. We'll come to the political terrain of the area, the security terrain. They resisted. Even to the extent that the police landlord, if you look at the visual evidence, they also landlord across the road and defied the police officer and sat in the middle of the road. Never make that mistake. I know lawmakers in the United States who have been arrested by police officers for civil disobedience. I know about that. I know lawmakers who were arrested because they protested with the protesters. They were picked up. Okay? So it's nothing strange about that. The police had no option. No option. They provoked the police were tolerant, the police had no option. People want there with sausages, they want there with chicken, they carry knives. Some people carry cutlasses. Some people have stone in their bags. And to demonstrate that when the crowd was dispersed, people were stoning at the police. Peaceful civilians cannot stone at the police. It's not a debate. Peaceful civilians will not carry gasoline or petrol to a protest site. Peaceful civilians will not carry coal pots or charcoals with fire to that area. Let me tell you some quick things. I remember the Zaire mansion got out with fire in 2006. I remember in the same 2000, the Capitol building won't even got out with fire. Whether those were acts on the type or not, I know investigation went on and on and on. So grabbing for those pieces of experience, the police decided that, look, it's dangerous to keep firewood or fire at the Capitol building, and this is the Zaire mansion. People may have different intent. Intentions may be different. Some people came to the protest. Just on the slogans at the protest, you will see people said they will get at the police. People said they insulted the president. Some said the president must step down, they will not leave. I want you to go back to all of the video clips and see the concrete evidence. Not only that, the major leaders of the protest have said they will shoot. Some said we'll kill. Some said we'll make war. So yes, there was sound of war. A knife is a weapon. It's not even the coal pot with the iron is a weapon. The fire, there will be arson attack. The police will honor constitutional authority. I'm not talking about statutory authority. I'm talking about the organic law of the state. The organic law of the state, the government is only responsible to protect lives and to protect properties. Lives are being protected. What's about the properties? You have private homes around there. You have the executive mansion, the seat of the head of state of the country, the CRC of the country, and the head of government of the country. You have the judiciary branch of government, the seat of the judiciary. You have the Capitol building where lawmakers go and assemble and debate national issues. You have the University of Liberia. You have Stella Maris Polytechnic University. Not only that, you have the Ministry of Lands, Mass and Energy, the Ministry of Information Culture and Tourism. You have all of those people. And Busakola is a congested community. One fire in Busakola will burn more than 20 homes. That's my district. Near the University of Rara, Soniwen, the name says Soniwen, or Charlestown area is there. Warwind is there. That's a community, just one fire will burn out of homes. You have the police station also there. It raises national security caution. Should the police wait for the action to be committed before dispersing the crowd, especially after a pity? So the guys confronted the police by defying the police, by sitting in the middle of the road, by chanting slogan and rejecting removing the fire from there. So the police acted appropriately. And they did not stop there, they started stoning the police officer. I am disappointed in people who live in the West, who support the action of those stoning the police officer. In America, no one stone a police officer. No one dares stand to argue with a police officer. Just by perception, the police officer sees your hand down and like it coming up, he could shoot you.
He fire you. Okay, now,
automatic death.
Now, Reb,
okay.
I'm sure you were able to tell us basically what you saw yesterday and what you know about
what the world saw.
What the world saw as well. Now, but are you in contact maybe with the police? Do you have any idea as to whether the police did request the protesters to remove the co-ports and all of those?
They admitted to that. Even when Mr. Mo Ali went to them, there's a visual evidence, and spoke to them, they rejected. They booed the human rights activists or leaders. Yeah, the jail are them. There's visual evidence to show that. It's not an argument. Mr. Yeke bulldozed the police, the barricade they had, and came in with 3 vehicles, including a musical set with a gasoline. In the musical set. In the vehicle. Okay? Now, the police were under the Dodging hot pursuit, for example. The police went after them. They ran. And cars where the people asked why the police took the cars and went and searched it. The police has no explanation to journalists to bring video taping to go and record the search of the police. There's no law that says that. It's just out of courtesy.
And that was done yesterday.
Yeah.
On the
Someone
scene of
asked why the police searched the car.
On the scene of the protest.
Yes.
No.
While the police drove the car. I remember the police were putting one of the drivers in the car. He said, open the car. The police officer. You can see that. I can show you the evidence. He said, open the car. Okay, and the last police officer to get in the car along with them. Another thing, one of the car had no license plate.
I want us to get this straight. On the scene of the incident, the first search was conducted by the police.
Actually, I didn't see that clearly. What I saw at that point in time, I saw the police driving vehicles to the place. And assuming that the police officer has such a vehicle
initially on the scene,
yeah. Assuming, and the police officer did not identify anything, that does not negate the fact that the police officer cannot make another search. Oh yes, if possible, they can search your home, and they can seek another order again to search your home. Okay, but that's not a home they were searching. The police search vehicles. So, look, you went to the forensic movies. Some people kill people to go and search their home to do all stuff on there. After 30 years, the detective will be able to establish that you committed the crime. Or this or what the gun was, though they searched them before, but maybe they didn't touch a particular spot. So it's naivety for anybody to argue it's all logic. To say, oh, the police search the car, then they carry it, then they search it again. Therefore, that is what in logic we call post-hoc, agro-prompter-hoc thinking or non-sequitur. You see, because the police searched before, they didn't find it, then they go search again, they lie. That logic does not suffice. It's unscientific logic. That's what the sophists used during the day of the Ionian island in ancient Greece, the origin of philosophy, according to that.
Because the reason why I asked the question whether a search was conducted on the scene of the protest and then an additional search conducted at the police headquarters, because there are legal minds who are contending that the fact that the search was conducted initially on the scene of the protest, in the presence of the driver of the vehicle, and unfortunately nothing was found, and then driven the vehicle to the police headquarters. It made occur that apparently the police might have smuggled what is found.
Let me say this. Any legal man that says that doesn't know the law.
Okay, what is the law?
Any legal man. You want to adduce it into evidence in case the police did a forensic, for example, or the DNA on the gun. And it's established that actually either Mr. Yeke Koloba or one of his bodyguards or one of those who were in the vehicle, the DNA result from the gun shows that somebody touched that gun. What the legal luminary will be saying.
So, in other words, you're saying that there will be a process of that nature?
I said that's investigation. I'm just telling you some of the processes in investigation or establishing the facts.
But is it not possible also that weapon could be smuggled into the vehicle by either the police or somebody else?
I don't believe so. Every arm by the police is registered. It has the number.
Okay.
Every arm given to the police or any security man in this country, it didn't start with our administration. It must be registered. Even if a shot comes from there, they can identify that. Non-Americans provided some ammunition, okay, to the Ellen Johnson administration. I know when the fire at CDC headquarters November 7, 2011, the then police director argued that Army shot. And after Army went through the investigation and established that that weapon, the shots came from the police, and not Army.
Now,
those are all. I just told you.
Those are possibilities.
Those are all possibilities.
Now, but don't you think also it was quite necessary that the police included Yeka Koluba, Representative Koluba, into the search before conducting that search?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Why?
I will tell you this. A police officer can come to you, to a vehicle, tell you get down the vehicle, put you on the gunpoint, search you, and they search the car.
That's a moving vehicle.
No,
that's a moving vehicle.
It doesn't matter.
Unlike an abandoned vehicle. That's a moving vehicle.
It doesn't matter whether the vehicle is moving or the vehicle is not moving. The vehicle is a moving vehicle that will park there.
But the owner of the vehicle was not on the scene.
Excuse me, it doesn't matter. They will wait for the owner to come, the owner that will running going. You can't jump over the fence.
So what's trick on the police? I'm coming now.
No. Let me tell you, the guy jumped over the fence like one labor. That was the long jump on the other side. Okay?
The car you saw the guy jumping over the fence?
I'm telling you, that's my terrain. That's my area. Okay?
So you were in your room
that's my district. Yesterday, in fact, I even drove to the bypass and all the areas around my district. Okay, yeah. Ask people there that will say, oh, we saw his car. He was in it. Okay? So the rain. So what are you saying?
The vehicle was
for every safety of the vehicle, the police had to take the vehicle away. One of the cars that I saw the vehicle told the driver to come provide a key to open the car door. But interestingly, that vehicle at the back never had a license plate. If you notice it, there's a visual evidence. That is deception. I think that vehicle also belonged to Mr. Yeke Kolba. But what you have not picked up is the illegal possession of a license plate. Why? HOR 65 black does not belong to the current composition of the 54 legislature. It belongs to the composition of the former legislature before in the 53rd, before this one. There is no way a certain lawmaker can use that license plate from the 53rd.
What are the
It's considered illegal. No debate about that. Every vehicle, in terms of official vehicle, has
but that's a different dimension now.
No. I just want to tell you, you're looking at the security implication. You're looking at security.
Because Representative Koluba, I'm sure, has been using that plate
for a long time. It doesn't matter if you're committing a crime over and over again for emphasis, and you are caught, you'll be punished for that.
Why?
No.
Why you did that race that you should be? Because I'm sure you have seen that plate before.
No, I have not.
Oh, you have not seen that plate?
I've never observed
That's the first time seeing the plate.
No, what provoked my attention is that when they said HOR 65 was arrested with arm, I mean, the car was seized and there was a search and they were armed. I said to myself, I went straight in the search room I had and I asked who has HOR 65. Representative B.N. Howard said HOR 65 belongs to him. So the next concern was how can HOR 65 will be with Yeke And HOR 65 will be Honorable Bien Howell from Lofa County. So when I did the search, the HOR 65 that Yeka was using is a black license plate. The HOR 65 that Bien Howell is using is a white license plate. And that's the legitimate white license plate given to all of us with HOR, specifically HOR. I'm not talking about REP.
So what do you say is the clear intention
not two lawmakers,
Representative Kola using such a vehicle?
No, that's an old license plate. That's deception. It's a security issue. Yeah, he had a sinister motive.
As a ranking lawmaker.
Yes, he has a sinister motive. The Committee on Rules Order Administration has a function to distribute the license plate. Assuming that they made a mistake, because we have two sets of license plate, one REP and one HOR. I'm talking about HOR. So assuming that they gave you REP 65, and may have mistakenly given somebody HOR 65, but it will be the current license plate. It will not be the old license plate. So nobody can say there was a mistake, but then you gave the old license plate, because the old license plate, those license plates were assigned to all of the lawmakers for 6 years.
So that deception, that deception is doesn't have the gravity as discovering vehicle. I mean, discovering
that deception may
allegedly.
That deception may even provoke the police to search the vehicle. That deception of an old lawmaker plate being used by a new lawmaker from the 53rd, and we have a 54th plate, and Yeke was driving a car, or he was in a car, or that's his car. That deception may have led the police to say, but then, why would they more want to deceive us? And this plate does not belong to him. So let's search the car. The other lawmaker 165 who have been held liable. In case no one saw Yeke bringing a car and a car was arrested or armed somewhere on the road. They are going to call the lawmaker in. Say there's your lesson plate. Who used that? The chief clerk are going to say, oh, that representative being and you're going to be called in. So what the intent? The thing is that what's the intent of this man you saying? Nobody raising this issue because of hate for the administration. Acarous Gray, higher been Representative Acarous Gray, you hear them bomb off and saying all kind of trash all on the internet.
Now I'm saying that's another issue. Now it's
part of the security information.
It's far lesser than discovering allegedly discovering gun in his vehicle. I'm saying
when a former warmonger and warlord deceptively use a lesson plate and use another car with all lesson plate, it alarms. When a former warlord who say, if you want war, I will give you war, he doesn't have a lesson plate on one of the cars, and he has a lesson plate that does not belong to him on another car, it's a security concern.
So that does not hold a very big gravity as compared to allegedly
it holds a bigger gravity. What do I mean by that?
What do you mean?
That may have prompted the police to search the car. Because the lawmaker, the lesson plate does not belong to him. The lawmaker has said that he will bring war. The lawmaker has admitted that he has gone.
So the police,
so that is an alarm.
The police searched the car on the scene of the protest.
No, you don't have to. There were tension.
I'm coming. The police searched the car on the scene of the protest.
No. The search that I know, maybe the police can call and say that. I don't want to speak.
We'll try calling the police.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say it. But I know the police did a search. They invited journalists, but I can say for sure to you and safely. Whether the police searched the car on the scene of the protest because there was great tension, even to search would have been difficult, maybe hastily done, there was tension. Rocks were being thrown
there.
Tear gas were whistling. It would have hurt your eyes. Okay? So you could not have even searched. Granted. But again, Sabo, let me repeat to you. That does not negate because they came to search your house the first time. And maybe you dug behind your horse and buried the gun there. Or maybe the rock that they did not lift the rock out to know that you dug in the middle of your room to put a gun there. And the police said, yeah, we'll search. But maybe the police got another tip. And they come back and search and lift the rock up and saw the gun under the ground. Does that presuppose that the police don't will search your house again because they did the first search? But that is illogical argument.
Okay, you said
that is argument that is not legal, an argument that is not scientific. Only naive people will read that argument. So educated people who must desentimentalize the argument, will not run behind that argument. It's too weak, it's naive. Extremely naive. So I don't even want to dwell on that. Now the man even claimed that he had 2.5 million like Brenda in the car. What are you doing with 2.5 million like Brenda at a protest site? Oh yes, what are you doing with that? That economic sabotage. You could be charged for that. People taking money. We say no money on the market. People hiding money on. For example, now you are a protester. You want to see the government coming that you have emitted. So who knows how many persons have $2.5 million, Liberian dollars, in a vehicle at a protest site? Doesn't that raise concern? Assuming even if you're lying, for the man to say, yeah,
this is the second major search that been conducted on the property of Representative Yeke. Why do you think all these searches were about? Because the first one was held at his home. There was this issue of alarm that
I just want to.
So what is the intent? Is it to scare him or what?
No, John Whitfield, for example, the late Secretary General of the NPP, former secretary and former senator, his soul rests in perpetual peace. On 50-50, he said publicly we appear on many programs jointly, we work together. He said he had a gun. From the radio station to the house, they hide him. And they want to search his soon. Yeke Koluba has said that he has gun. They generally ask him.
So he's always beating war drums.
War drums. Not only beating war drums, but he's a dangerous warmonger.
So not only that. So the government has surveillance on him.
Not only that. This man, not surveillance on Yeke or not, but he has admitted, okay, this man have been involved with even at the legislature, people are accusing one time while going to work while he was at work.
You see he's a threat to the peace and stability of Liberia?
If Yeke was not a threat to the peace and stability of Liberia, he would not say a word received or call in Ghana. He would not say that he will apologize and retract his statement. He will not say that I will listen to the international partner. He won't say that I don't want to go to the Hague like my former boss Charles Taylor. The international partner will not ask Yeke and demand him to clarify his statement. There are a lot of implications, a lot of indications.
So you say he's a threat to the peace?
But Yeke consistently remains a threat to the peace and stability. If I were the police director or the Minister of Justice, some of the statements he made, some of the punishment we received in the past on President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf when I made a statement,
so
you're picking up.
So as a result of that, you are a key member and an influential member in the House of Representatives, where he also serves. So why don't you think you could mobilize some signatures to get him out? Since that
you see the thing here is that the legislature is a political house. It's a political house, and getting signatures. It's an uphill battle.
It's an uphill battle?
Yeah, even removing a speaker has been an uphill battle. That's the politics of the era.
A threat to someone who's a threat to the peace?
Just saying, all of people,
what do you think will be
other people for political reasons may seek to protect him. However, the legislature, the House of Representatives will have to understand, for me, I'm a ranking member, how Mr. Koluba got the license plate. When it comes to executing the law, it's not for the legislature to execute the laws. The executive has that responsibility by the doctrine of separation of powers.
But there are
the
rules
Constitution.
that bind people.
Yeah, there are rules. But mind you, even if we realize that Yeke had gone, the executive will have to prosecute him. It's not us. We can remove him from the legislature, but we have to prosecute him. That's the executive. And that's why sometimes when people say, oh, why the legislature, I said I'm smart a bit. The fact of the matter, the executive must muster the courage and take action and enforce the law of the country. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they didn't wait for the legislature to pick up La Sana in Bombing County. We gotta be courageous enough and tell the police and the Ministry of Justice that if Acarous break the law, go for him. And that example will even make other people understand that there's no pick and choose.
So that happened yesterday.
So yesterday on the spot, I believe if Yeke DeLong, more adding other people are not going to run, they're going to pick them up. Because the Justice Ministry said any violent action, the leaders will bear full responsibility in the last question and the issue. So the leaders escaped.
Yesterday, the incident took place. The police reported that it found a discovered weapon in his vehicle. Today he was on a local radio. What do you think is the delay up to present that Yeke Koluba has not been invited by the police for
I will not speak for the police. But let me say this. Why I commend the police will have to be more forceful and ensuring that the law is enforced. It doesn't matter who that person is.
Okay.
So the police has their own security detail and mentors of dealing with things. They can say somebody, or the court say the police are always at the legislature. If a police is involved into a problem, they say they write the legislature to turn that police or to escort the police. There is no law of the Republic of Liberia that says that when a lawmaker violate the law, you must go to Capitol building to get it and ask the pro tem or the speaker or the plenary. There's no law. It's just all the courtesy. So for me, that look at the police investigation, how it goes on. But I want to say to you today that under the past administration, I was speaker. Lahal Lassana was speaker and put place in the speaker by the certain senator in Bombay County 2014 after the election. Prince Tokpa in Bon County, when protesters were going against metal steel, he was arrested and placed in the pickup bag.
Okay, so just 1 minute. Let me speak with the police spokesman quickly. He's now on the line. We've been trying to get him. Mr. Spokesman, how you doing?
What's up, Josh? How are you? It's a pleasure.
You are on the Bumper Show Live.
Thank you.
Now, so what is the latest now? Because we understand yesterday, weapon was discovered in the vehicle of Yeka Koluba, allegedly by the police. So is Yeka now in police custody, or what's the latest now?
Well, I can tell you that we are working out every effort in ensuring that those who are owners of the vehicles that were brought to headquarters with guns discovered will certainly be invited at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. We are currently working on a comprehensive report to be forwarded to the Ministry of Justice, after which we certainly will begin the implementation of issues contained in that report relative to what happened yesterday at the Capitol Hill.
So have you been able to identify those who have connections to that vehicle?
That is exactly what our investigators are on right now as I speak to you.
Since yesterday, are you still investigating that? I thought by now you should be able to locate those people.
The vehicle, one of the vehicles is already indicated in our statement that one of the vehicles, which is an official vehicle, belongs to Honorable Yeka Koluba. And the rest of the other vehicles were vehicles that were brought into the streets by supporters of the Council of Patriots, and that is exactly what we are doing right now.
So Mr. Spokesman, since that you are aware that one of the vehicles belongs to Yeka Koluba, what is it that you are delaying up to present? You have not been able to invite Yeka Koluba for questioning.
Well, I can assure you, Summer George, that Yeka will certainly be invited. No matter whether he's invited today, but I can assure you that he will be invited at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. And I can say this for a fact. We are not deterred by some of the, misconceptions that people are trying to put out there, especially in the misinterpretation of, the criminal procedure law and that of the vehicle and traffic laws of Liberia. We did not need any search warrant, as it is being argued to search the vehicle of, Honorable Koluba and other vehicles. People must understand this. The vehicle and traffic law is very clear. And we have other laws that are very backing to us searching vehicles, especially in making sure if we find out that such vehicles are, flying with, instruments that are inimical to the peace of our country. We don't need any search warrant. People must understand that the vehicle traffic law in section 8.2 is very clear. At any given time, we can search any vehicle. So those that are flying the streets and passing around with information that, oh yes, we needed a search warrant to search a vehicle, absolutely, it is incorrect. We are on course, and you can trust that this investigation, like we said in our release, will be done impartially, and those culpable will be made to face the full.
Now, Mr. Spokesman, the fact that you are delaying, according to you, one of the vehicles in your possession, in which you discovered the weapon belongs to Yeka Koluba. The fact that you are delaying up to present to invite Yeka Koluba, a presupposes and one will be thinking that apparently you don't have the necessary evidence. You're trying to manufacture something to link Yeka Koluba to that, because you shouldn't be delaying at all.
If anyone will joking. We are not delaying. Perhaps that is, some other person's interpretation. We are not delaying. What we are doing is to make sure that we can make sure that all of the pieces of information and evidence that we have to put together, those are things that we are definitely doing.
But you didn't put it together, Mr. Spokesman. The police did not put it together before alarming and announcing that you arrested a vehicle, you caught a vehicle.
Judge, actions here at the level of the police are not taken haphazardly. We do a lot of things.
But why did you announce it? Why did you announce it that you found a vehicle you found a weapon in a vehicle of Yeke Koluba when you are still trying to put together your pieces of evidence?
I just told you that Mr. Koluba will be invited here at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police.
How soon? How soon you think?
And I can tell you very soon. That is something you must look up to.
Okay.
You'll be invited here.
Hello, Moses.
Yes, sir.
There are reports that some arrests were made yesterday. How authentic is this information?
Yeah, we arrested a total of 21 persons.
What are some of those issues raised against them?
Some of them were arrested for rioting. Others were arrested for being in possession of, harmful, equipment materials, machetes and other harmful materials. And so these persons are currently in the custody of the police and they are undergoing investigation.
What's the status of the driver of the vehicle that was arrested, or those vehicles, the drivers who were driving those vehicles that were arrested yesterday? What's the status right now?
Well, we have everyone in our custody and they are undergoing investigation. That's what I can say to you.
Okay, Moses, before we take leave of you, you said that you arrested more than, you said 12 persons or how many persons?
21.
21 persons. You arrested them yesterday, up to today, 24 hours. You still keeping them in detention. Is it not a violation of the fundamental rights?
Absolutely not, Saba. We have 48 hours.
48 hours.
Yeah, it's not 24
Okay,
hours.
so what are those charges now you placed on them so far?
Well, the charges will be placed on them by our investigators, but I can tell you that they are being investigated. So, but most likely, they might be charged for rioting, being in possession of, unauthorized weapons and all of that. So, our guys are doing their job, and we want to allow them time to do their job so that we can be able to, whatever we take to the court is going to be from an informed perspective.
Moses, lastly from my end, where is the whereabouts of Yeke's driver?
You said?
Where is Yeke's driver? Yeke Koluba's driver.
We said Yeke's driver absconded yesterday, and the vehicle was left abandoned. So, right now, our officers are making efforts to ensuring that we can get hold of this driver.
Okay, finally, how many males, how many females you have in your custody?
We have a total of 2 females, and the rest are males.
The rest are males. Thank you very much, Mr. Spokesman. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saba. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the police spokesman, Moses Caro. Rep?
Yeah, and I like you raised a very good concern with the police spokesman. And there was sometimes when there's some delay, people raise a lot of concern.
Surely.
It's very important. To prove that no one is above the law, I know that, I didn't need policing. But the fact of the matter, they said they're taking their own time. So in case the suspects escape the country, that's a concern that should also be raised by the police. Okay? But
why will you be taking your own time when you already alarmed me? You already announced that you arrested, you found guns.
Yeah, you raised
the alarm. So
which is very important. Which is very important. And the police will have to ensure that everyone, irrespective of their status, respect the laws. We have 21 persons according to Indian bars now. 48 hours. I have not elapsed up to this point. I agree with him on that. By this time, I think 24 hours have elapsed, or maybe 2 hours from now. But the fact of the matter here is that when the little ones are caught,
the bigger ones
should be caught.
But so
because they are the leaders, and the ministry have made it emphatically clear that the leaders will be held liable.
So what is your reading in the delays by the police to be able to?
No, I think,
what is
like
your
I said,
reading?
maybe they want to gather every piece of evidence because they identify who owns one of the cars according to him.
Yeah, sure.
Another 2 cars again, like I saw one driver getting in one. They asked you to present the keys, and that never had a license plate at the back. I saw that video on the visual evidence from the online recording. So it's fair enough they have to identify maybe who had the truck. It's fair enough. Maybe they rented it from someone. You need to know who owns that. It's very important. Maybe they want to do it collectively and not individually, because sometimes maybe you go for Yeke and the other cars who own them, you leave them, you're still looking after them. People will say it's a witch hunting. But I can say to you fairly, freely, that the action of the chairman of the Unity Party was prudent politically. Politically, pressure groups are not stronger than political parties. Pressure groups are not the one that go to election because they're not registered political parties. So why would you want to promote a pressure group or a political institution, a former ruling party?
We're trying to get women paid on this program.
So the chairman acted prudently. Oh yeah, he acted prudently. In the scope of the law, in the scope of politics and power politics, he did that. There are a few things we appreciated. And it was very important. A lot of people were in fear. Oh, you know, the people come on at you at the country, we want to be in Monrovia, you got to go negotiate, the people get the number, the government unpopular, you know, all of the widespread propagandistic attack, misinformation, psychological warfare. When the people came out, they were not even 5,000. Not only were they, because they said there would be hundreds of thousands of people, that bombastic conversation all around the country on the international wire. I believe even foreign journalists were disappointed. Were because the number didn't even reach 5,000. And now they come back to argue it's not a matter of the number. What did you achieve?
Now, moving forward.
You came to ensure that the president speak to you on your petition to present a general sale. You came also to say that you want to show to the world that the government is illegitimate. The government has lost its popularity automatically. Okay, you bring 5,000. So 5,000 persons requesting the president to resign? 5,000 persons?
Now, moving forward.
Requesting the president to resign instead of they're irrelevant to the political stake of our country.
Do you think we need to give in to this sort of protest as often as we can when we have a lot on our plate as a government, as people, to move this country forward?
I believe it was necessary that they came up. It was necessary to show to the world that these people are a handful of people. It was necessary to show to Liberians also similarly. It was necessary to expose the coloration of those people, that their political parties send people. They are not just pressure group. Because like Liberty Party political officer, okay, or vice chair for administration, Mr. DeLong, a senator, was there. It's an insult to the national legislature for a senator to go and protest. While the senator has a platform, or the representative has a platform, the biggest political platform is not even your political party. Because as a senior government official, the first branch of government, you sit with world leaders, you interact with foreign parliaments. That political institution may never have that opportunity besides those of us in government. I represent Liberia at the African, Caribbean, Pacific, and European Parliament. European parliamentarians sit across the table and we debate issues. That's a very big platform. At the legislature, when I became a lawmaker, I never went in the street to protest. I used the platform provided to me by District 8, Liberians, the Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change or Congress for Democratic Change, to articulate my views. Even if they disagree with me, the records show that I made my point. Even when I put the point in time that they did not want to recognize me, I used the rules to be recognized. Even when today they don't recognize me, I will have a press conference and say, there's the letter I wrote, there's the bill I presented. 2 years, they have not presented a single bill. The man said he present bill of impeachment, he read letter on that bill. 2 years. Mr. Delon been there like almost 6 months. No bill. These are all political strategy or tactics for re-election. To play on the emotion and sentiment of the Liberian people. That is dangerously wrong, even at the detriment and survival of the protesters. When I led CDC as Assistant Secretary General, and Secretary General, I declare myself Field Marshal. No soldier left on the front line. When the soldier is wounded, we'll go and pick that soldier up. We don't run. Before the tear gas, 15 minutes, they don't have going Chile. More Ari had Chile. The guys were running, had us they left the protesters. They put these people in harm's way. Locals were fighting back, strunking stones, throwing stones at the police. The leaders were not there to take full control and bring the situation under control. They escaped. Only because Costa wanted to be represented, I was defeated, I think, in 5th place in District 6, eh? 5th.
This was 6.
6th, 5th. He won't be president.
President where?
But he announced that he wants to be president along with that. It's right. On record. They don't say he won't run a vice running mate on us all. He just won't be senator now. 2023, he won't be. So they want to do everything so the government can appear unpopular, or he can secure his re-election at the detriment. Who are you to question a representative of the mighty coalition for democratic change?
Do you think they
Question him on integrity classes?
Do you think they are not succeeding?
They are not, and they will not. June 7, after the protest, a lot of people thought that it was genuine and money business set in the crisis of integrity. Who ate money, who did not eat money. The whole leadership. Sandra Johnson left. Oscar Cobo left politely. George Wisner left politely. Bernard Nairo left. The ANC leader Alexander Cummings, for example, left. Rufus Duve, who established the RCOP, left. You can name and name because those guys, they have a personal agenda at the detriment. You got political party leader Joseph Boga, you don't call him our leader, you call Henry Costa our leader. And if from Unity Party, or if from LP, you don't call Nyomli Kanga your leader, you call Henry Costa your leader. ANC, Yaka Kolba, it's a curse and insult the Darrell alone to allow the subordinate character to lead the COP and preside over a certain senator and the vice chair for political affairs at the Liberty Party. The Unity Party chairman, he will honor a co-chairman. The acting Secretary General of Unity Party begins Secretary General. You're serious? At least Chairman Pay realized and said, look, partisans don't go there. And he predicted the outcome. He said you don't know the intentions some of these protesters may have. Or what will become of this protest. I advise my people don't, they say the man stopping people. He didn't stop anyone. He advised. That's the chairman statutory responsibility by the constitution of the Liberty Party. Because I know that constitution, okay? I read party constitutions. I know that very well or make comparative analysis. That was prudent enough after Mr. P realized that the guys had sinister motive. They were blackmailing, extortionists, just want to get money, and about the protest action or video recordings were being played of the COP chairman negotiating for $500,000. Okay?
Negotiating with who?
Hey, before June 7. Yeah, he's on record for that. You didn't listen to the tape?
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah, it's on Facebook. You need to listen
Negotiating with the government?
He's talking that he wants negotiating with somebody. He wants $7 million. I mean, $500,000 to carry it to Mr. Urilan. Then he said, what he will get? He said, what will I get? Come on. What are you talking about? This thing is, oh, you saw after the protest in June 7. Huge accusation that people owe all money. They say, oh, boy, $1,000 water. The other man said, I send you $500, you ate the money.
So one refund.
Oh, yeah. Then you come again. And you know what is, look, it's sickening. After they protest on the 30th, they took the food and took it to disadvantaged homes. Yes, they took the food there and said that humanitarian work they were doing. After the 30th, they say they might give your money back to you. After you went there, humanitarian work, after you did humanitarian work, it's all. The social network is there, the social media is there. You see that? So I'm just saying to you that these people, they don't mean well.
Now,
And I feel so sorry for the ordinary masses who will just be carried away. I feel so sorry for other people from political institutions that after 2 years, all of the money they had, they cannot empower their own partisans. And I don't support Alexander Cummings. I don't think I will support him ever in my life. But he saw that coming, that people were projecting themselves that wanted to be president, and he wanted to be president. And he wanted a political party. Didn't Wega see that? Didn't ALP see that? That a surrogate organization of the political institution, that one guy would think so hard of himself, that another guy would think so hard of himself, is I am the senator. We send you to go protest. We elected you in Montserrat County to go protest. We petition you to go protest. We are the people you represent. Even though I'm a representative of the state, but you represent us. I have a fish to fry in what you do. Yes. Every Montserratan, every one of us, we have a fish to fry in the decision of Mr. Acarous Dillon. He owes it to us. Whether you voted for him, whether you didn't vote for him, he owes it to us. And he has to account to us. Yes, we can lead that process.
Are there plans to pressure him to do it?
He has to. As he will be taking people to the Capitol building, to a colleague to pressurize them, we will be taking people from the street to pressurize them. Oh, yes. I'm the father of the game.
You're going to play that game.
I am the father of the game, and I know the game.
So when exactly are you going to start?
Let him start. Tell him to start. To bring COP people to go pressurize the lawmakers. And bringing the body of the public disrepute is tantamount to expulsion or suspension. Or reprimanding him. That's the rules. You lawmaker, you go petition yourself. You lawmaker, you petition yourself. Who want a petition? That conflict of interest. Under the doctrine of conflict of interest, you should not even be on the legislative floor to debate that issue. And interest will on break. Petitions are received by the Committee on Claimant Petition. We on break. We are not open. They say you're going to the lawmaker and the domestic man. You don't even know where to carry your petition. You say the president can't speak to you. You know what the Constitution says? The Constitution says you must petition your representatives. They didn't say you must petition the president. That's why the Constitution. You say you're a respecter of the Constitution. You are a lawmaker. You become a lawbreaker. Okay. You say bill of impeachment. You read one letter that when you read the letter, the legislative floor, the whole country will laugh.
Okay,
Yeah, the entire country will laugh. So my concern here is that how can the people elected these people that don't understand legislative issues, that are pretentious to understand legislative issues, to understand the rules of the legislature, they don't understand that. How? Come on. Why in the world the lawmaker go say I'm going to petition you? And your lawmaker, they say the citizens must petition the lawmakers, the representatives. The Constitution clear. Who represent you? We, the representatives, and the senators.
But there are rules on your book that govern the activities of the House of Representatives.
There are rules.
More especially with regards to individual members acting disorderly.
Whether in the public,
Yeah.
whether at the House of Representatives, whether in the public, somebody can bring the idea and action could be taken against you if the person lobby well. Let me say this to you. When a lawmaker begins to say, I don't care for the job, even if I'll be expelled, is to construct a sentiment. You work for almost 6 months now. What our money? The state needs some money. Now you get out like $7,000 or a little over $7,000 as a senator, okay, in US. We want to share the money because you say you get $10,000. You said people are making 15,000.
So you need
now you're going to say,
pushing for that.
so then you tell how much you will get to us now because you cannot say how much you will get to us. For you say predicated upon the 15,000, you will get 10,000. So the man has maintained, in fact, that he will still take a 5,000. Yeah. So that means that 2,000 will remain. So divide 2,000 by 17. 17 electoral district. You cannot pay a single child school fee at Montreal College in my district. When you divide that money, the 2,000 by 17. The man has insisted to a press conference that he will still take the $5,000. Before he said he will take 5,000 and the 10,000 will go by. So why he couldn't reduce the money now? Look at the proportion. Say it's like $7,000 to say, okay, I will take $2,000 and you will take the $5,000. But the guy said, I will still take my 5,000. The man said he will never take government car because it costly the abuse of resources twice. He said that. The man go take car, people say, yeah, that government getting the car and why rejected the car. Rufus never rejected government car in this country. You say something, you stand by it. Then you talk about integrity. Yesterday when I saw that interview, you questioned Abu Kamara integrity. Hey, Representative, it hurt me. You know why it hurt me? Because integrity is not only about money. Rawa said, pay your school fee using taxpayer money in this country according to you. That integrity crisis. You went to Stroyer University, you can't go to university or college in Liberia. You don't have government exam certificate. You don't have high school certificate. If Downs they don't present a diploma, a high school diploma today, and government exam paper, I will resign tomorrow morning, or anytime you present it, I will resign if it's legitimate.
Okay, you listen.
Oh yeah, no, I will resign. I'm telling you today, that's a crisis, that academic fraud. Okay, it's dangerous. It's undermining the academic survival of the young people who will say, if Darrell Delon, they ain't graduate from high school and he falsify a document, I can also falsify a document. And he will chase all Australia University because they realize that he falsified a document. That's why you can go. Okay, if you came by, you could not pay the school fee, why you can go to Zion? Why you can go to St. Mary's? Why you can go to the university? Why you could not transfer your credits? Musa Benete went abroad and came and transfer your credit to Zion. Edwin Snow went abroad and came and transferred credit at the University of Liberia. Those were people that were being questioned in this country. The academic credentials were being questioned. Okay? So let they don't transfer credit to the University of Liberia anywhere around here. When those kids begin to question who has to graduate for, why your wire paper, what is your wire paper? Okay, where so? And the father man to bring a high school diploma that graduated from wire so, and he took wire and he passed wire. I will resign as a certain lawmaker. I will deviate from Liberian politics. That's a crisis of academic integrity. That's the very first thing. Economically, you are getting 5,000 on the early Johnson administration. You went to school that they pay your school fee worth $30,000-$60,000. Then you are going to school right in Liberia. And I tell you, if you get on 5,000, you can graduate for 5,000 for 4 years. 5,000 US. If you have it for 4 years and they pay your tuition, you can graduate. No. The British and the Britons were not selected. But you were selected on opportunity basis to go to Stroyer University. And you want to talk about the crisis of integrity here? You're talking about you get integrity, you'll be shocked. I was coming today in 2005, someone told me when the late Teofilo Gu was Solicitor General, he was a special assistant. When UMU students came in solidarity of students of the University of Liberia were protesting, they don't want one of those who jumped over the fence and even hit a girl. Can you imagine that? Yes. Today, you know, when you live a life and you think you must look beyond. Okay? So no. I'm just saying that. He flogged his wife. The very people decided to go and vote for him. They didn't question that. He publicly did that. Where were the women advocates? Where were the women advocates? But when something happened in Abu District, they got together. Some refused to shake the hands of the president for political reason. But somebody flogged his wife. The law on abuse against women, he flogged his wife. I allege, I'm telling you what he did. He abused the woman. I got a documentary evidence that his mother-in-law accused him. Okay? That his sister-in-law said that he's a woman beater. The moral crisis there.
Okay, let's try to open our lines.
Okay, the moral crisis. Then people jump in and look at Abu. You say, man, you're not in the same league. Then you war again. You come back again to respond to the man. You and the man are in the same league. Who are you to question you and who in the same league when this man has seen our government position before you became a government official? Who are you? When this man, when you were striving in the LP, Abu Kamara, you were nowhere around. When you were bringing finances to the LP, you were nowhere around. You had no decision to make. And then you question integrity. In this country, there must be a vetting process of questioning people integrity. Financially, people are accused all around Liberia that government money you used to know how to go to school. People are questioning your academic credential that you cannot publish your high school paper. Not only that, but your wire paper. You can't bring it. You know what someone told me? When the men were going to destroy the maneuver some kind of way to get wire paper. I don't want to call names here. Because someone told me certain person worked that day.
Okay.
That's why you can say fight.
Okay.
Then you talk about class. So that the people talk about clean. And this and that. In the night they come to all that like demon. So ask all to carry them to the president. That the costing us around here.
089-713.
People gotta be careful in this country.
086.
When I disagree with President Sally call, I never said one day, never advocated to meet her.
I don't call her your name. Where you calling from? Good evening. Good evening. Okay.
Hello?
We lost this caller. 0776
Hello?
089 713 0776
Hello?
089 713 or 0880514 096. Hello?
Hello, your name, where are you calling from? We lost that caller. You can call back so that you can form part of this.
0776 089 713 or better still 0880514 096.
Hello, your name, where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, it seems out the caller is not there. 0776 089 713 or better still 0880514 096.
Hello?
Just go ahead quickly.
Your name, where are you calling from?
You can make your party comments. Considering all what had happened, especially with protests and often people out in the streets and coming up with all sort of comments and all of that, do you think we need to continue to allow these sort of happenings and not moving forward as a country when we have a lot on our plate? Don't you think all of these are all distractions that we need to put behind us?
You know, you remember that yesterday I monitored KMTV online and at the Water Street area, Waterside. You know, they did a good job. They decided not just to talk to the protest side, but to go around Monrovia. And if you listen to some Liberians, people who are not political party zealots, they've said they're losing too much because of the protests. Some of them, they cannot get their customers because they cannot come. Some of them cannot pay their kids' school fees because they are not generating revenue because the protest, the scare tactics being used. If people want President we have to be replaced, let them wait for the election. They're going to let us say, look, I mean, I don't support him, I will not support him. But let us wait for the election to get him out because we are undermining the economy of the country. We're losing in revenue millions of dollars because of what these guys are doing in the city for the masses. Kids should have been in school on yesterday. And you plan a protest for the day that school will be opening is inhumane. In other countries, it's an abuse. It's pure child abuse. Pure child abuse. The right of the children to education by the Constitution was violated by the protesters yesterday. The Constitution declared on the right to be educated. Schools were being closed. And then they say they are the liberators. The evil geniuses of yesterday, today, they are parading themselves like the Messiah. Those people who damage the economy of the country. The blackmailers and extortionists are parading themselves like heroes and heroines in the Liberian society. I know they hate to hear the voice of Acarous Gray. I know they hate to hear the conversation of Acarous Gray. And reasons why they cannot stand Acarous Gray, because Acarous Gray understands the issues. Acarous Gray will expose them. Acarous Gray will bring out the maggots that are in them that other people cannot see except they use the microscope. So those of us who use the microscope to see that maggot must bring it out for the public to see that this is a maggot. So again, consistent protests undermine development of the country, and our strategy is to say that protest consistently, they undermine this government. Let's make the government to appear illegitimate. Unfortunately for them, I can say to them, that will not be the case. President Weah is respected around the world. International partners respect him. For somebody to take $2.5 million to economic sabotage, you need to get the $5 in hand. Why you took the money from? Maybe that part of the $16 billion. Maybe that part of the $16 billion and the president get money to yours. Maybe that's some of that money because for you to know, maybe you got some. Okay, so we need to raise serious issues in our country. How in the world? District 10. How in the world you go vote for a criminal?
Okay.
How in the world you go vote for a bloodletting individual?
Let's leave it at that.
No, but how in the world, not just leaving it?
Thank you very much.
How in the world you go vote for an academic flunky?
We really appreciate your time.
That goes on and say you know law.
Thank you very much.
You know politics. You don't even know the rules.
Thank you for your time.
That's what we want to inherit in this country, Saba.
Okay.
Saba, you illegally cutting me off when the people come here. You can allow them to have that.
No, time has cut off us.
But let me close on this note that we have to narrate the stories to our people. And that's why February, we're having a mass political jamboree as a political institution at the ATS. In February.
Okay.
2 days will be reconciliation, looking at the party performance, looking at the challenges, etc. at the headquarters. The third day, that's one of the reasons we say, I protest, I'll see that how many percent you're bringing to say they come unpopular, you bring less than 5,000 percent off. Not even boost your community you brought.
So that'll be 3 days of celebration.
Yeah.
No, with consultative, reconciliatory meetings at the party headquarters, looking at the party platform, manifesto, gains, challenges, etc.
Prospects and all of that.
The prospect leading to the 2020 election. And then, by the 15th, most likely, we shall bring the country to a standstill politically through a national political jamboree.
Okay.
You want to see number game?
Thank you.
The citizen understand
Thank you very much, Acarous. Okay,